Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, till yesterday, we have actually discussed cone penetration test, that is CPT, with the various attachments it can have, that is geophone, a piezometer to measure the vibration into the soil sample, to finding out the stratified strata, what are the various properties in the depth of the soil. Today we will see a triaxial test. Actually, triaxial test we perform, as you can see. Initially, I would like to tell you that this is a machine where we try to capture the response or behavior of the soil sample. It can be a cohesive soil sample or it can be a non-cohesive sample, that is a granular material. Any granular material can be used for the preparation of the specimen of that same material, and its response can be calculated under a vertical pressure from above, and lateral loads from three sides. So we have got a lateral pressure from two sides, and we have got vertical hydrostatic pressure from a load cell, which is trying to push the sample in the vertical direction. And we have got confining pressure from the two sides. That confining pressure can be using the soil, water or oil, because this is the confining zone. As we can see into this particular figure, we can see this is the confining sleeve, this one, which can be used for the hydrostatic pressure if it is a water. So a particular stress value is being applied onto the sample, which is here in between. And we have got three different stress levels at three different directions, which is going to bring us the response of the specimen and shear. So I will try to read it out and explain you further in detail that a triaxial shear test is a common method to measure the mechanical properties of
Good afternoon, sir.
different, good afternoon, mechanical properties of different solids. So mechanical properties in itself means that we are talking of tensile strength, compressive strength, and shearing strength. But triaxial test is most of the time being done for the shearing resistance of a particular soil sample, because tensile strength is very less in soil samples because it is basically a granular material. So it is having a close to zero a tensile strength. Especially soil, sand, and clay. Rock and other granular materials can also be, their behavior can also be noted in stresses would be different in three directions. So this is how we actually do this test. From three different directions, stresses are being applied. So it is not always easy, although we say that it is always equal in the three direction, but it is not easy to apply, keep equal the three stresses from the three sides equal in proportion. But only in a true triaxial test, stresses in three directions can be different. That is, we are keeping three different stresses and three different directions. Material is contained in a cylindrical latex sleeve, as I have shown you into the figure. So here the material, the prepared sample is kept here. And it is from top, it is confined using a flat or circular metal plate. And the cylinder is placed into a bath of water to provide pressure along the sides of the cylinder. So in a form of a cylinder that the sample is prepared. It is a kind of, you can say, as we have medical gloves are there. That type of material is there, plastic, uh, rubber, the same material of which the gloves, the medical gloves are made. Similar to that, soil sample which is prepared is kept into that, and that cylindrical specimen is put into a water bath, and it is confined from the top using the metal plate, and it is confined from three sides with the water bath. The top platen can then be mechanically driven up or down along the axis. So we start pressing the metal plate from top. The distance of the upper platen travels is measured. This line is very important, that the distance which is traveling of the hydraulic jack as we apply pressure from top, it the distance traveled is calibrated as a function of the force required to move it. That means जितना distance वो travel कर रहा है वो instrument में automatically fixed है कि हम कितना force apply कर रहे हैं. So force divided by the area of the sample, we can have a vertical stress. As the pressure surrounding the water is carefully controlled. The net change in volume, the net change in volume of the material is also measured by how much water moves in or out. So it is actually due to three different categories of test, in which sometimes the water is allowed to move in and out, that is the drained and undrained. The pressure is allowed to release according to in the water bath. Triaxial testing on rock is seldom done. It is never done because it is very difficult to maintain high pressure conditions in triaxial apparatus for rock to disintegrate. During the test, the pore pressure of fluids is measured. That is what at what pressure we have got an instrument, that is drainage to volume change and cell pressure sensor. So here you can see we have got cell pressure sensor, which is there, which always evaluates under what conditions what stress is being applied. So as we get strain in strain gauge, similarly in this type of pressure sensor we have pressure evaluator. With shear stresses that may lead to failure of the sample and shear. So as we apply pressure from the three sides, the sample is of course is going to disintegrate at a certain limit of a stress, and it is most of the time going to be having a shear failure because it is difficult to fail in any other condition. With shear stress that may lead to failure of the sample and shear. In non-homogeneous and anisotropic samples, failure may occur due to bending moments, that is flexural failure, that is due to the bending of the sample, but it is very rare. Also, combination of bending and shear may happen in inhomogeneous and anisotropic. This is another type of failure which can happen. A solid is defined as a material that can support shear stress. That means actually we have taken a soil sample. We want to evaluate the properties of a particular soil sample. We have made a sample out of it after doing a certain procedure. Then we have kept that soil sample into a cylinder. And we have tried to evaluate the shearing properties of that particular soil sample. So every solid, every granular material which is converted into a solid cylinder will definitely be having a shear resistance in that. So any solid, every solid has an upper limit and a maximum limit. So that is the purpose of triaxial apparatus, to evaluate that minimum and maximum limit of the shearing stress. The triaxial test is designed to measure that limit. So we can have from the triaxial test, as we can see, we have got three. Sigma 1 is not equal to sigma 2 is not equal to sigma 3. So what is going to be the minimum and maximum limit of stress that can be induced into against this particular specimen for that specimen to fail in shear? That is the purpose of the triaxial test. Is increased till material. This is a very important line. The stress on the platens, that is the vertical circular platen from upside, is increased until the material in the cylinder fails and forms sliding regions within itself known as shear bands. So as the pressure continue to increase, there are formation of the shear bands into the specimen. So that is how we finally decide now the specimen is going to fail. The stress on the platen is then reduced and the water pressure pushes the sides back in. So as you reduce the water pressure from the side walls, that is in the water bath, the sample which has already bulged out will try to push water bath outside, releasing the stress which is being applied onto it and causing the sample to grow taller again. This cycle is usually repeated several times. This is like this: you are pressing the water bath, you are releasing the water pressure, then you are again pressing the water bath, Then you are again releasing the water pressure. So this system of pressing it, releasing it, then pressing again and then releasing is going to bring shear to the sample. And during this procedure of the shear failure of that particular sample, what we can evaluate fundamental material properties of the soil sample, whether it is silt, sand, clay, including what is the first one? It is angle of shearing resistance. That is the first property that we can find out. The second one is apparent cohesion. The third one is dilatancy angle, which all tells us the non-linear behavior of the material. And the third one, which is very important, this one, dilatancy angle, is very important in telling the non-linear behavior of the material. Now the material is not into the linear range. It has gone, it has yielded, it has gone to the ultimate, and now it is into the non-linear range. These parameters are then, what is the purpose of the triaxial apparatus is that whatever values you are finding out here, minimum and maximum stress values, these minimum and maximum limiting stress values are fed into the computer program to find out the final actual response of the material of the soil sample. And these are mostly used for earthquake behavior. That suppose you have a ground acceleration into the soil strata and a building is resting onto that soil strata. So because earthquake is a lateral load and we are talking about the lateral pressure onto the soil sample. So under what minimum and maximum conditions that soil sample is going to fail against a lateral load, most of the time it is going to be earthquake load, which is going to be applied from the horizontal direction. An example would be to predict the stability of the soil on a slope. Now this is again, it cannot be static. अगर कोई slope failure होता है, it is possible that as we can see in rainy season में क्या होता है, most of the time जब बहुत ज्यादा बारिश होती है तो slope failure होता है, या ऐसी कोई other condition other than earthquake develops that we have a slope failure. So slope failure is dependent only on shear strength of the soil. अगर हम soil की minimum और maximum shear strength range जान सकते हैं, that under what existing static stress that particular soil is stable. If we are able to evaluate that, that means we will be able to evaluate the stability of the slope at that particular location. So that is one example. Other than example I have already cited, earthquake ground motion. So in that also we require the shearing strength of the soil. The triaxial test can be used to determine the shear strength of a discontinuity. So triaxial test is of three types. First one is consolidated drain test. In consolidated drain test, sheared in compression with drainage. So as the pressure is applied from upside, the water is allowed to move in and out. That means it is allowed to drain out, it is moving out. Then the pressure from outside is exerting the pressure inside. And again, the water is trying to pressurize the sample inside. The sample is consolidated and sheared in compression with drainage. So the word with drainage has been used here. The rate of axial deformation. So the word axial has been used here. Is kept constant. That is from above, whatever the rate of displacement of the pressure cell from above is there, that is kept constant, and that is why it is called strain controlled. So it allows the sample and the pore pressure to fully consolidate. That means slowly and slowly we know the limit of that particular soil sample, and we are trying to bring it close to that limit so that it should be able to fully consolidate, and it adjusts to the surrounding stresses because we are allowing the drainage to happen. The test may take a long time to allow the sample to adjust in a particular low permeability samples, and need a long time to drain and adjust. So if we are having a low permeability conditions, then it takes the relatively larger time to get the sample to become stable and give the readings. Then the second one is consolidated undrained test. Consolidated undrained test, where the in the water bath the drainage is not allowed, the pressure which has been induced earlier is going to remain same. The shear characteristics are measured under undrained characteristics. That means we have applied a pressure from the side, and that pressure is constant, and we are applying a displacement from upside onto the flat metal platen. Sample is assumed to be fully consolidated under the stresses applied and should be similar to the field condition. This is the most close approximation of the field condition, where we have got constant stress from the sides and a vertical stress is being applied from the upside. It is used in change for the change in stress for further consolidation. That we have got the third kind, where we have got unconsolidated undrained test, that the even the sample is not, the water bath is not allowed to undrain, drain out, and even it is compressed at a constant rate. That is again strain controlled. So this is a particular typical setup. This is the soil sample which is being prepared from the soil. This is the loading piston from above, rubber sealing ring. This is the instrument where we can see, we can evaluate the what is the pressure we are inducing into the system. And these both yellow color are protective, you can say rubber membranes, or it is a kind of different material which does not let the pressure to release, which does not let the water to come out, so that pressure is not released. Then we have got shear test, but most of the time in earlier days also the most common type was the box shear test, and it can be performed in laboratory as well as in field. It measures the shear strength properties of the soil or rock material. So this is shear cell. Here we apply the shear, and we have here we have got the material whose shear resistance we have to evaluate. This upper portion is having a sigma stress which is applied in the vertical direction. When we are applying vertical stress, that means this particular plate is pressing down. So it is pressing down this particular sample, and from this side, lateral side, we are having a horizontal shearing load. Now this particular soil sample is under a horizontal shearing force. This horizontal shearing force we have to evaluate which is going to give the shear strength of this particular soil sample. It could be anything varying from soil to rock. It can be silt, it can be soil, it can be clay, like that. Shear strength properties of the soil, and with based on this we can classify the properties of the soil. Classification can be based upon the shear strength of the soil. For rock test, it is generally restricted to rock with very low shear strength. जो भी रॉक हाई shear strength वाली होंगी उसको हम इसमें टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते. Discontinuities in the rock, that is, if there is some discontinuity, the rock is not completely homogeneous, that can be easily found out using this particular box shear test, but for that sample should be small in size. The test is performed on 3 or 4 specimens from a relatively undisturbed soil sample. So here we have got a limitation that it can be performed on undisturbed soil sample. A specimen is placed in a shear box. This is the shear box. Confining stress is applied vertically. So this is the confining stress which is applied. And the upper ring is pulled laterally until the sample fails. Through a specified strain, the load applied and the strain induced is recorded. So we can evaluate both the things. Load applied and the strain induced. Frequent intervals of time, because then only we will be able to plot the shear stress and shear strain graph. So load applied will be giving us shear stress, and the displacement, the strain calculated into the shear box will give us shear strain. The direct shear test can be performed under several conditions. The sample is normally saturated before the test is run, but can be run at the in situ moisture content also. So whatever you have extracted from the site, straight away that sample can also be put into the shear box for the testing direct straight away. The rate of strain can be varied to create a test undrained or drained condition. So here also we have got the possibility of undrained and drained strength to be find out. So because always, not always it is there that we have got the dry specimen. Sometimes near the river or near a canal, we are required to have a test of the shear properties of the soil, and there the water table is quite high. So we do have a moist conditions into the soil on those in situ site conditions. Several specimens are tested at varying confining stresses to determine the shear strength property. So various different confining stresses are put to find out the soil cohesion, that is C, and angle of internal friction, commonly known as phi. So this is the common test which is along with the SPT test we have discussed yesterday, standard penetration test. Along with the SPT, where we get the value of N. Then we, from the box shear test, we get the value of C and phi. These three values, N, C and phi, these three values, N, C and phi, give us the most of the values in geotechnical domain. That is geotechnical engineering parameter. Whether it is bearing capacity, whether it is shearing resistance. So when we put M, C, and phi, we can get many geotechnical engineering parameters. So when we take the sample in a SPT from underground, let us say 4 to 5 meters down the earth surface, that sample we take to the laboratory, and that undisturbed sample, if we put into a box shear test, and we apply vertical and lateral loads under certain confining pressure, we get the C and phi value from that box shear test into the laboratory. That completes the testing, giving most of the engineering domain parameters of geotechnical investigation. The results of the test on each specimen are plotted on a graph with peak or residual stress on x-axis and the confining stress on the y-axis. So using these, we also, if you might have studied Moore's stress circle in strength of material subject. Moore's circle पढ़ा है आपने?
Yes, sir.
उसमें हम दो का रेडियस बनाते हैं, सर्कल बनाते हैं, that we draw straight line at a certain angle wherever that straight line intercept that circle. So that can also be done using this particular box shear test along with other tests. The next is point load test. We have already discussed. That is vane shear test in detail, where we have got this vane being inserted into the soil for the strength classification of rock materials. This we have done from the other content from the other book on that particular day, where we have got this particular instrument, and whatever resistance we are getting for the soil sample to become disturbed, that is being recorded as a force, so that becomes its shearing resistance. The testing machine consists of a loading frame which measures the force required to break the sample, and a system of measuring the distance between two platen contact points. So this we have done earlier also. So another test which can be performed onto the same setup, similar to the Brazilian splitting test, is load strength test. Now we can easily see the frame here. If we can have a contact here, so either we can push it like this, or we can pull it outside the sample. So let us see. The test is executed either axial diametrical or an irregular pieces. When a large number of samples have to be tested, brittle rocks when tested under diametrical loading. So you can easily find out the tensile strength of this particular specimen in case you are pulling it out from here, from the dial cage, giving the strength required to break it. And it can also be done into a UTM in this manner, giving this type of behavior. So as soon we are having a crack we can get the strength.